Sri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhara Srivasadi Gaura Bhakta Vrinda. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Ramaya Ramabhadraya Ramachandraya Vedase Raghunathaya Nathaya Sitaya Pataye Namaha. Sitaram Lakshman Hanuman Ki Jai.
At the end, Ram bowed down to Vasishta and said, "Oh, Reverend Sage Vasishta, I think it is 12 long years I got separated from Mother Sita. Can I get her back? Can I bring her back? Please grant your permission." When Ram said this to Vasishta, Vasishta spoke in a voice mixed with anger. Vasishta said, "Ram, what are you thinking? Did any one of us tell you to banish Sita? It was your own decision. We were begging you not to do that. Why are you asking permission if you feel so? You are a perfect personality. If you feel so, immediately bring her back." Then, with the permission of the great sages, Lord Ram sent people, ministers and very important personal aides to Valmiki Ashram with so much of gifts and conveyed the message. And next day, Rahul Prabhu, can we go back to that old picture, Sita Madi picture? And next day, the beautiful, these two boys, Lava and Kusha, they walked in the front, glowing like sun and moon. Behind them, the majestic Reverend Sage Valmiki. And behind Sage Valmiki, Bharatwaja and all the senior sages and disciples of Valmiki. And behind all of them, the beautiful, gentle Janaki Devi with bowed head, Sita Mata was walking. Then Ram understood these two boys were my sons. Simply by seeing, he understood, and he was feeling so happy, and the boys were with the tears and happiness, because today the whole world will know who they are, and they can go and sit on father's lap, hug him. They can go around Ayodhya and they can see Mother Sita back with Ram after 12 years. Then Ram got up from his seat, went and bowed down to the great sage Valmiki, offered prayers, washed his feet, and he took permission from Valmiki, Vasishta, and with permission, Ram said, "Janaki, please come back and sit in the Singhasan." Till that moment, Sita Mata did not utter a single word. Her head was lowered, she was bowed down. Then she simply raised her head and she saw the lotus feet of Ram and said, "O great king, Prabhu, as long as I am living with you, you won't be able to perform your duties peacefully. But at the same time, if this is true, that I have not thought anyone apart from your lotus feet in my heart, if this is true, that I would have forgotten to breathe, but not forgotten to chant your name. And if this is true, I am chaste to you. Please, Mother Earth, please come and accept me." The moment Sita said this, the earth shook and cracked, because her honesty was so powerful. And this is that village Sitamadi. Earth shook and cracked into pieces. And Sita Mata came with the gold, Bhumi Devi came with the golden Singhasan. And Sita Mata, she simply got in and she disappeared into earth, and earth closed. with a heavy noise. Ram screamed, Sita's, Janaki, Site. Lavakusha screamed, Bharata, Lakshmana, Shatrughna. Even the sages, they were crying. And the great Sita disappeared. So this is the holy place, Sita Mati. And that's where this temple is built. But there is a small confusion. Elsewhere in the border of UP and Nepal, there is another Sita Madi, and people say this pastime had taken place there. But historically, this is more accurate because Tamasa River and Ganges one is confluencing here, and Valmiki's ashram is here. Anyway, this is the glorious place where this wonderful Leela taken. So we offer our heartfelt prayers again and again and again to Mother Sita, that some point of time we should be also able to offer selfless service to the Lord. Where Prabhupada writes in the Nectar of Instruction, undivided devotion. Many places he writes this word, undivided devotion. Our devotion is divided. We have, something about family, money, health, wealth, this, that, ego, and we have devotion also. But sometimes we should have undivided, selfless devotion. So our prayers again and again to Mother Sita, and we are continuing our journey to Chitrakoot. Okay, so let's go to Chitrakoot. Raghupati Raghava Rajara Patita Pavana Sitara. Raghupati Raghava Rajara Patita Pavana Sitara. Shri Ram Jai Ram Jai Jai Ram. 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 Sitaram Lakshman Hanuman Ki Jai. So around some 200 kilometers from Ayodhya down south towards Madhya Pradesh, if I am right, the border village is called Chitrakoot. And Ramayana says this is the most beautiful place, and we don't deny that. If you ever get a chance to visit Chitrakoot, please visit in September, October, November, these times, September, October. You will see the beauty of Chitrakoot. So beautiful. Ramayana speaks chapters about Chitrakoot. And even today it is not spoiled because it's a tiny village. Whatever you see in these two pictures, that is all is Chitrakoot. Hardly some 10-20 buildings, and that is very, very small village. Few thousand families are living, and you go to Chitrakoot, there are only 3-4 hotels. You cannot call it hotels. You can call it Dharmashala or something like that. Very simple room. You have to adjust there. And this is like a border. Chitrakoot is like UP, Madhya Pradesh border. Some places are there in UP, some places are there in Madhya Pradesh. Every time you have to cross border, and hardly very few, staying places, maybe like 10, less than 10 staying places, each one having 10-12 rooms. Very difficult sometimes if you go there without proper booking and all, like you don't have place to stay, you don't have place to eat. Small village, it is nothing there, small village, but very beautiful, full of tiny hills and greeneries. And Valmiki himself says, Simply by remembering the pastimes of Lord Ram and Mother Sita in Chitrakoot, a person will be purified. And there is no doubt about it. There is no doubt. Actually, we heard Lokanath Maharaj of Iskcon, speaking about Ram in Chitrakoot, and it is true. The statement of Valmiki was very true. Sitting there in Chitrakoot and hearing about Lord Ram and Sita is so purifying, so purifying. So beautiful, full of jungles, and when we went, we saw all kinds of animals. We saw monkeys, we saw peacocks, we saw tortoise, we saw wild boars, we saw snakes, we saw swan. You name it, we saw everything there in the 3-day visit. So beautiful, Chitrakutas. Even in Tamil, Kambaramayan and Kambar also glorifies Chitrakoot so much. Tulsidas glorifies Chitrakoot so much. And one important thing related to Tulsidas is Tulsidas completed his Ramacharitmanas sitting in Chitrakoot on the bank of river Mandakani. That river which you are seeing in the picture is river Mandakani. Ganga flowing from Lord Shiva's head. Mandakani, again a branch of Ganga. So first we go in Chitrakoot, we go to a beautiful place called Kamadgiri. Rahul Prabhu, that mountain, that hill, Kamadgiri. I saw that picture you are having, Kamadgiri. So like Vrindavan, yes, beautiful. See how greenish this mountain is. Tiny mountain, like in Vrindavan, we go around Govardhan Giri Parikrama. Same thing happens here also. People call it Kamadgiri Parikrama. But one thing good about it is, it's only 5 kilometers, not like 20 kilometers of Govardhan. This is just 5 kilometers. Because Lord Ram and Sita, they lived in two places. Two places, that is like, one is Nasik, Panchavati and Chitrakoot. These are the two places they stayed. Out of 14 years, 1 year Sita Mata was with Ravan. The last year, 14th year, 1 year she was with Ravan in Ashokavana. So the rest 13 years they spent in Chitrakuta and Panchavati. These are the two places they spent. And Chitrakuta is so dear to Mother Sita, and she was thanking, as I said yesterday, when Sita came to Chitrakoot, she was thanking Kaikeyi again and again and again, because she was the only person in the whole universe happy about Kaikeyi. Because everyone else was very angry with Kaikeyi. Mother Sita was so happy with Kaikeyi, and she was constantly thanking Kaikeyi again and again and again, simply because of Kaikeyi, they got time to spend with Ram. Otherwise, how Sita Mata will get time with Ram? Because in Ayodhya, it is impossible. From morning, Brahmanas and the sages and the citizens, and they're always with Ram. Everyone seeks an audience with Ram, and they would like to be in company of Ram, and Ram will very dutifully talk to them, attend to their problems, help them, and if they did something good, glorify them. Ram was doing that. If someone had something good, Ram will appreciate them, glorify them, give them charity. So Mother Sita will hardly get time to be with Ram. So when they were banished for 14 years in jungle, Sita Mata was so happy. So when she came to Chitrakoot, she became doubly happy seeing this beautiful place. What a wonderful place with birds, and Chitrakoot, there is only sages and nobody else, to disturb. And sages will be in meditation, and Sita Mata can go and meet Rishi Patnis, take advice to them, like that. So many sweet things, So this is the Kamadgiri Parvata, where Lord Ram and Sita would take rest. And Lakshmana, very polite, in the 14 years during exile, not even once that Lakshmana lifted his head above Sita Mata's toe and saw her. And Mother Janaki will always taunt Lakshmana. Are Lakshmana, what is this? You are Maryada Purushottama like your brother. You are this. So much of fun, so much of jokes Sita will crack. And Ram will say, Are Janaki, why are you taunting that, Lakshmana like this? Mata, Sita Mata will crack so many jokes, But Lakshmana is so principled, he will not utter one word without respect. Because when Lakshmana was going to jungle, Sumitra said, Mam Viddi Janakatmaja. There is no difference between me and Janaki. Every time you see Janaki, you should remember me. Very respectful. It's a beautiful lesson for us. How men should never flirt or crack jokes with others' wives. Something very important lesson. Sita Mata may crack jokes, but Lakshmana was very principled. With heads bowed down, he will say, yes, Devi, no Devi, yes, like that, like a servant. And Sita will make fun of this thing. So when Lord Ram and Mother Sita were resting in this Kamatgiri Parvata, Lakshmana will go and sit in the opposite side hill and always vigilant whether any enemies are attacking, demons are attacking, something. And Lakshmana was little suspicious about Bharata also. What if Bharata sends his army or something? He was very suspicious. So this is Kamatgiri Parvata, where even Lakshmana did not climb. He paid respects, right? So even today, people don't climb this Kamatgiri Parvata. And in the bottom of Kamatgiri Parvata, there is a Kamatnath temple, and that is Narayan, Vishnu temple. Kamatnath. So whatever desires you go and approach this Kamatnath Narayana, Vishnu, everything will be granted. So first we take pranams from Kamatnath and we walk around this 5 kilometers. Beautiful. When we go in early morning, 6 o'clock, it will take hardly 1 hour to go around the 5 kilometers. Even elderly people can peacefully walk. It's not trouble. Throughout the way, you will have people to give water and shady resting place. It's very, very peaceful parikrama, and only 1 hour and we won't get tired. So we all chant Krishna's name, Ram's name, holy names, and Hare Krishna Maha Mantra. And full 5 kilometers we go singing the glories, where that's the shelter, that's the place where Ram and Sita lived for quite long, Kamatgiri Parvat, So in the Kamatgiri Parvat, it's totally 5 kilometers stretch. When we walk 1 kilometer, and on the Kamatgiri Parvat Parikrama Marg, you will have Bharata Milap temple. Rahul Prabhu, the marble white bluish temple, Bharata Milap temple. Just 1 kilometer in Kamatgiri Parvat. So if we start our morning parikrama by 6 o'clock, in another 15-20 minutes, yes, this beautiful place temple will come. It is Bharat Milap temple, and this, you see this beautiful marble long courtyard. In the morning, it will be like chill. We are not supposed to wear chappals and shoes, and we are going barefoot. It will be so chill. Everybody will be doing Haribol and chatting and dancing on the marble. So nice, right? So you can see 3 blue mandaps here, and in one mandap, Ram's feet is there. Another mandap, Bharata's feet is there. In another mandap, Sita Mata's feet is there. Like that, 3 lotus feet are there in 3 different mandap. And the pujari is very friendly here. He knows Hare Krishna people so well. The moment we go, he gives us nice sweet prasad, and he will make us chant, do Nagkirtan and everything like that. So this is the glorious Bharat Milap temple. And you know that when Bharata came back, right? When Bharata came back from Kaikeya Desha, nobody spoke to Bharata properly, as I was explaining. So Bharata said, I will go to jungle and somehow bring Lord Ram back. If I'm not able to bring Lord Ram back, I will lay my life dead. And he made this vow. When he made this vow, then Ayodhyavasi started believing Bharata. And they said, okay, we are also coming. And they, all of them, they came. Ram came, the Bharata came, Shatrugna came, and 3 mothers, Sumitra, Kausalya, and Kaikeyi, 3 mothers came, Vasishta came, sages came, Sumantra came, many elderly Brahmanas, they all came. And one day, Ram and Sita, they are resting on this Kamadgiri Parvat, and Lakshmana is sitting on top of a tree and keeping a watch. And suddenly from a long distance, Lakshmana could see the flag of Ayodhya, flying in the sky so majestically, royally, Raghuvamsha Dwaja, the flag with the sun emblem, the majestic flag of Raghuvamsha. Then he saw a huge army. Lakshmana could see a huge army. And the dust from the hooves of the horses were flying up in the sky. And he saw army and Bharata. Then immediately Lakshmana thought, now I understand. This cheater, traitor, this Bharata is coming to jungle. I know his intention. He wanted to kill Ram so that he can usurp the whole kingdom. Aha, I will not leave this. I will rip his skin apart of this body, and I will chop his body into millions of pieces and throw his body into Sarayu, or throw his body to jungle in vultures and jackals to eat. Screaming like this, Lakshmana rushed like a madman and took all his weapons, celestial weapons, all that shield, bows, arrows, spear. Then Lord Ram saw, Lakshmana is furious and rushing for a battle. Then he asked Lakshmana, what happened? Lakshmana said, that traitor, the cheater, Bharata has come. I'm going to rip him apart. I'm going to kill him. Then Lord Ram tightly held Lakshmana's hand and said, Lakshmana, I know why Bharata is coming. I know Bharata by heart. Please remain calm. Then Ram got up, and Ram saw Bharata had not slept for days together. From the face of Bharata, Ram could understand how much pain Bharata was going through, how much he would be facing. And Ram can understand how innocent Bharata is. Bharata came and rolled down and, fell like a log at Ram's feet and said, my lord, my dear brother, I don't know anything what has happened. I was not party to it. It is not with my concern this has happened. Please believe me. Nobody in Ayodhya believes me. So very lovingly Ram lifted Bharata and said, Bharata, I believe you more than myself. I believe you more than I believe myself. All these beautiful leelas happened in this place. And hugged him. And Bharata, whole day till dusk, Bharata was going on saying that Ram, please come back. And Ram was going on saying, no, I will not come back because that is the promise I have given to Dasharatha. And both of them were adamant, and Ram came to know that Dasharatha is no more. Then Ram was loudly crying, oh great King Dasharatha, I also became a reason for your departure. And immediately Ram became silent and offered prayers then and there to Dasharatha Maharaja. Bharata was again and again adamant, and Ram was saying, no, 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 no. And finally, as I told you yesterday, Ram said, okay. Bharata lie down and said, I'm going to live my life. Then Ram said, okay, I will become the king. But this is my first order. Go and rule Ayodhya for 14 years on my behalf. So in this way, Bharata was trapped. And Bharata takes that Paduka of Ram. You see the second picture, Ram gives his shoes. Bharata went back all the way to Ayodhya, this 200 kilometers, keeping the lotus shoes on his head and coronated this. He did Paduka Pattabhishekam. He coronated the shoes on Ram's Singhas. Then Ram paid respects to the sages, to the brahmanas and everyone. He went and paid respects to mothers. Then he saw Kaikeyi was standing little far in that crowd with tears in her eyes. Kaikeyi did not had the courage to come and see Ram. She was standing quite far. So Ram voluntarily went. What a great personality. See this? Somebody has banished him to jungle for 14 years without a tinge of anger and enmity. If we were there in that position, we will never talk to that person in our entire life. Ram smilingly went to Kaikeyi. Kaikeyi was staying apart because even other wives, other mothers were not with Kaikeyi. Kaikeyi was alone. Ram went to Kaikeyi, bowed down and touched Kaikeyi's feet and said, "Hope and pray, my dear mother, that you are fine and happy." Then Kaikeyi burst out with tears and said, "Ram, please come back. What a great sin I have done. I have lost my dear husband. I don't want to lose you. Now I realize you are more dear to me than Bharata. Please, for my sake, for my purification, you please come back." And Ram said, "Mata Kaikeyi, don't blame yourself. You are a helpless instrument in the will of providence. You are just an instrument. Don't blame. By you blaming yourself, my heart is pained. So please don't blame." And Kaikeyi cried and begged Ram, "Come back." And Ram said, "No, this is my last promise." And he also told Kaikeyi, "Mother Kaikeyi, never ever think you are the reason for this. I love you as much as I love Kaushalya and Sumitra. You are all my mothers and never think bad about me." Again and again, Ram touched Kaikeyi Mata's feet. And Kaikeyi said, "Ram, why don't you curse me? Why don't you punish me? Why don't you, at least I will be happy if you punish me, that I have got a punishment for my mistake. Why are you doing this?" Then Ram said, "Please, you go back and be lovable to Bharata, Lakshmana and myself. And I will come back after 14 years and constantly serve you." So with tears, Kaikeyi also walked back from this place. So Rahul Prabhu, can we go back to that picture, that Bharat Milap? So all this beautiful conversation and leelas, everything happened in this courtyard, in this particular area. So you can see different mandaps. You can hear Ram ka charan, Ramji ka charan, Sita Mata ka charan, Bharat ka charan, and many these things. So very sweet to sit down here and discuss these pastimes and chant Krishna Ram's names, Mahamantra. Then we continue our parikrama. We finish this 5 kilometers in 1.5 hours, and we come back to the place where we started. So today we have just traveled one place in Chitrakoot. There are many more places. We are supposed to go to Nasik tomorrow, but I don't think we will be going to Nasik tomorrow. We will be still staying in Chitrakoot only tomorrow. There are many beautiful places and many beautiful pastimes to hear. So here we pray our pranams to Mother Sita, Bharat and all, and how selflessly we can also serve Krishna, right? Guru and Krishna. Thank you so much for this wonderful opportunity.